Welcome to the Deliverability Deep Dive.
By Mailmodo, and we are your hosts, Jane
And Tom. Ever feel like your emails just vanish into thin air? You spend all this time on a campaign, hit send, and then crickets.
Or even worse, it ends up in the spam folder.
Exactly. All that effort wasted. So frustrating. That's where this tool we're diving into today comes in Google Postmaster.
Yeah, it's like you suddenly get this X-ray vision right into Gmail.
Yeah.
You can see how Gmail is actually viewing your emails, which, let me tell you, is super valuable, especially when you consider how many people use Gmail.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's something like 30.70% of the market, stated by Oberlo's statistics, which is huge. So if you're not paying attention to Postmaster, you're basically ignoring a massive chunk of your audience. But what really gets me about this tool is that it's not just about, rescuing emails from spam.
Right.
It's about, actually figuring out how to work with Gmail and their systems.
Yeah.
So you can improve your whole email strategy overall.
Absolutely. It's all about moving away from just guessing, and actually using data to make decisions. Imagine you see your open rate suddenly drop.
Oh, yeah. Panic time.
Yeah, exactly. But instead of freaking out, you can go right into Postmaster and see if there's a spike in delivery errors. Maybe there's a temporary block from an email provider, or you've got a server issue you need to fix.
So it's like having a detective working for you.
Right.
Helping you solve the mystery of those disappearing emails. And get this, it's totally free.
Free and surprisingly easy to use, really, even if you're not a tech expert or anything.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah. You just need a Google account. Add in your domain name, verify you own it, which usually means adding a TXT record or a CNAME record.
Okay, that part does sound a little techie, I have to admit.
It is a little bit, but once you're verified, you're basically in.
Awesome.
Almost.
Right.
It can take up to 72 hours for all the data to show up.
Oh, got it.
But trust me, it's worth the wait. Once you're in, there's so much cool stuff to explore. All kinds of interesting metrics.
Even for small businesses, or even if you're just sending emails yourself, it's not just for these big companies. But I'm also realizing that there's a lot to learn here.
Oh, yeah.
Where do we even start with all this?
Well, why don't we start by taking a deeper dive into some of the main sections you'll see inside Google Postmaster. We start with domain reputation, since that's the foundation of, good email deliverability.
Sounds good to me. Let's unlock the secrets of domain reputation and see what we can find out.
All right, so let's dig into this whole domain reputation thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's kind of wild how much Google cares about this score.
Yeah, it really is like our email's permanent record.
Right. Postmaster, it rates your domain reputation on a scale. It goes from bad all the way to high. And you obviously want to be aiming for that high rating. Everything you do, good or bad, it all gets factored in.
So it's like they're always watching, huh?
Pretty much, Gmail's constantly analyzing, how your emails are doing. Are they getting open, marked as spam, or even just ignored?
Yikes. Big Brother's watching.
Well, they need to sort the good from the bad somehow.
True. So how do they actually measure this reputation? I mean, it can't just be about spam complaints, right?
No, you're right. It's more complicated than that. Spam complaints are definitely a big deal. But Google also looks at things like how many emails you're sending, how old your domain is, even how much people are actually engaging with your emails.
Engagement level. So if people are opening and clicking on the link.
Exactly. High engagement basically tells Google, hey, these emails are good. People actually want them, which can boost your reputation.
Makes sense.
On the other hand, if nobody's really engaging with your emails, that's a red flag.
So it's not enough to just avoid the spam folder. You actually have to send emails that people want to open.
That's the key takeaway. If your subscribers are happy, your domain reputation will show it.
Okay, I get it. So we've talked about how domain reputation is calculated in some ways to make it better. But I'm curious, how does Google actually show us this information in Postmaster?
Good question. They break it down into 4 categories: bad, low, medium, and high.
And like you said, we want to be in that high category.
For sure. But what if you're stuck in low or even bad? What can you learn from Postmaster then?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Well, it can be a little scary to see a low score, but it's better to know than not know, right? It's about actually helping you understand and improve your email practices.
I like that.
And the cool thing is, as you make those improvements, your domain reputation score will go up.
It's like Postmaster's a coach, helping us get better at email.
I like that analogy, and the coaching doesn't stop with domain reputation. Another important area to check out is the spam rate section.
Ooh, that one makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that their emails are getting flagged as spam.
I know it can be a little intimidating, but trust me, this data is super valuable.
Okay.
It tells you how your audience is really feeling about your emails. Are they finding them relevant and interesting, or are they hitting that spam button?
I guess it's better to know the truth even if it hurts.
Exactly. A high spam rate is a wake-up call. It means you need to take a look at your content. You're targeting your whole email strategy.
So it's not enough to just avoid the spam filters. You have to send emails that people actually want to read.
Exactly. And Postmaster gives you the feedback you need to do that.
All right, let's dive into the spam rate section and see what we can learn. All right, so we're back and ready to tackle this spam rate section in Google Postmaster. I have to admit, I was a little nervous to look at it at first,
Yeah, I get it.
but you were right. It's actually super helpful.
It's all about how you look at it, right? Instead of thinking of a high spam rate as some kind of failure, you got to see it as a chance to learn and make things better.
Okay, yeah, that's a much better way to think about it.
Yeah.
So what are some of the key takeaways we can get from this section?
Well, the main thing to remember is that even if just a small percentage of people are marking your emails as spam, it can still really hurt your deliverability.
Really? Even just a few?
Oh, yeah. Gmail takes those complaints very seriously. They use them to figure out, the overall health of your email program.
Wow. Okay. So even if it's just a tiny fraction of our subscribers hitting that spam button,
Yeah.
it's still something we need to fix.
Exactly. And the good news is Postmaster can actually help you figure out where the problem's coming from.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Are the complaints coming from a specific group of people?
Uh-huh.
Is it one particular email campaign that's causing more complaints than others?
So if we can figure out those patterns,
Yeah.
then we can start making changes, right?
Exactly. Maybe you need to tweak who you're targeting or change your message a bit.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
Okay, I'm feeling much more confident about tackling this whole spam rate thing now. But I'm curious, what else should we be looking at in Google Postmaster? What are some other areas that can give us useful information?
Good question. We've talked about domain reputation and spam rate, but there are a few other key sections worth checking out, like the delivery errors section, for example.
Delivery errors, what's that all about?
That's where you can figure out how much percentage of emails sent from your domain were unable to be delivered to recipients. Or even if a certain email provider is temporarily blocking you. And sometimes the fixes are surprisingly simple. Like if you're getting a lot of bounces because of bad email addresses, you might just need to clean up your list and get rid of any old or wrong addresses.
Makes sense. So Postmaster helps us zoom in on what's going on with our deliveries and find any potential problems.
And speaking of problems, another really important section to look at is authentication. This is all about proving to email providers that your emails are actually coming from you, not some scammer or spammer.
So it's about building trust, basically.
Exactly. And there are three main ways to do that: SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Think of SPF like verifying your sending address, DKIM like adding a digital signature to your emails, and DMARC like setting the rules for how email providers should handle emails that fail those checks.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. So Postmaster shows us how well we're doing with all three of those methods.
Yep. It shows you what percentage of your emails are passing those authentication checks. That gives you a good idea of how trustworthy your emails look to Gmail and
And
other
if we're not
providers.
passing those checks, we need to do something about it, right?
For sure. If your authentication isn't good, your emails are more likely to end up in the spam folder or maybe even get blocked completely. It's like showing up to a party without an invitation. You're not getting past the door.
Huh. Love that analogy.
Yeah.
So authentication is like our email's VIP pass, making sure we get into the inbox. So making sure our emails are sent securely. Wow, we've learned so much today. I actually feel way more knowledgeable about my email strategy now, thanks to Google Postmaster. Well, I'm definitely going to be spending a lot more time in Postmaster from now on. It's like having a secret weapon for email marketing.
You got it. And the next section we should talk about is encryption. This is all about keeping your data and your subscribers' data safe and sound. Postmaster shows you how you're doing with encryption. It checks if your emails are being encrypted using something called TLS transport layer security. Ideally, you want 100% of your emails to be encrypted. If they're not, that could be a red flag, both for security and deliverability. The last section that we should talk about is the Gmail Spam Feedback Loop, or FBL. This dashboard only shows up for senders who have implemented the Gmail Spam Feedback Loop. If you're a large volume sender, you can use this to identify campaigns in your traffic that are getting a high volume of complaints from Gmail users. The FBL is particularly useful to email service providers to detect abuse of their services.
That's awesome. It's amazing how much information you can get from this free tool. And honestly, we've only scratched the surface. There's a whole lot more to explore and learn.
I agree. It's a game changer for sure. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Google Postmaster. We'll see you next time for another exciting exploration.